process, every system has a pro and a con. So I want to list down the disadvantages of outsourcing. So whether you are receiving outsourcing or whether you are going to be involved in outsourcing a part of the job of your company, so you should have a. So first one is that there can be complex contracts. So I said that, some of these complex contracts explain what needs to be done, what the company has to perform, what are the productivity measures. So we keep these service level agreements and we keep transparent indicators so that, you know um, how much of the outsourcing was successful. When we see the performance based measures about to what extent the process was carried out, and how much time and quality was there. So we don't want to get into too much of a non-tangible kind of a thing. We want more transparent indicators, we want more tangible indicators to define that whether the output or the outcome of the process was achieved or not. So sometimes these complex contracts can also have some hidden costs. So hidden cost for the company who is receiving the outsourcing work. Hidden costs in the sense that if the company X who has outsourced is going to ask for additional work or additional process, or additional, usually the working hours is 24/7, the three shifts. But then in that case, if there is going to be overtime during some of the peak days, like let's say in the financial aspects, end of quarter, there are going to be peak work. So how are we going to define those? Become hidden costs because we may have to engage more people outside of our office in order to do the peak work, end of quarter, end of month kind of a thing. So these complex contracts need to be transparent, and the process, the more well defined it is by the company who's going to give us the work. So that makes the productivity better. The hidden cost can be for the company who has outsourced or the company who is going to receive the outsource. So these things need to be really deliberated during the negotiations that happen, and we are able to get a project from the X company. Then access, second one is a very very important and important thing. So the second one says access to confidential data can cause security threats or data breach. So this becomes very very important. I remember one five-star hotel where they have outsourced their database and customer service to one of the outsourcing company, and it so happened that one fine day the entire database of customers who visit that hotel was in the public. So this kind of data breach, if any confidential data is going to leak, if the privacy issues are going to be there, so it will become a very very it will become a very very big problem between the two companies. So example, like just now Dhanush was saying about document verification. So what if some of this data which we are verifying, it goes outside of our intranet? So the companies do take the companies do take lot of they do take lot of care of not allowing outside devices into the process and into the organization, and we try to keep all that, but this kind of data breach can happen, so we have to be careful against that. So third one, communication channels. So communication channel do exist because you can understand there are distance problems. So if let's say if someone in Philippines is going to take up a customer call of a US customer, somebody in Philippines is going to take the call of a customer who sits in the US or a UK. So there can be some kind of a language problem, there can be some kind of a, what do you say, the time zone problem. So in those cases we may get delayed, and when we get delayed, then like I said, we are not able to meet the service level agreements. We have uh, we have pitched for 90% and 90% above service level agreements. We have agreed upon that. The consensus is that, but then in such cases of time zone and communication, and sometimes the email going back and forth between the company and the customer, so in those cases the projects can be delayed and it can result in slower turnaround time. So I told you this word before, TAT. So TAT is turnaround time, means from the time the process was started to the time, how much is the exact turnaround time. So in the service level agreements, we always say quality and time, how much time it's going to take to complete the process and what is the quality expected from the outsourcing. I already told the language barriers and the cultural barriers. So certain people, if you shoot a mail to few of the countries, you get a response very early and very easy. It's faster because some of the employees of certain countries, certain companies believe that they are supposed to respond to an email as soon as possible, but there are some countries where response to email sometimes takes between 2 hours to 6 hours. So then in that case, this causes a delay for the outsourcing. So these are all the disadvantages I'm saying. Everything is not very hunky-dory and very positive about. So how do we work around this data breach? How do we work around these complex contracts? How do we work around transparency of output and performance and so on? And then that I told the time zone difference. So between the US, UK, and between Asia and most of the developing countries, there is a time zone, there is a time lag. So what do we do about that? Then next one is control over quality. So as much as we have employees who are performing on the process itself, we also need quality checks. We need quality checks at each process. So generally what happens is one quality analyst is in charge of doing a check of 1 out of 50 documents or 1 out of 40 documents, and then a cross checking by the team lead who is slightly above him in hierarchy. So he or she does a cross check of 2 in 100, and this is how we can improvise on the quality and so on. Sometimes if we let us say we as a company are, let's say we are Cognizant and we are TCS and we are comfortable with more of IT related projects and financial related projects, and if something new domain is going to come, let's say some new industry, so and right now our current employees are not in a position to cater to that domain, so then there may be a quality difference. So we always have to do reskilling, or we have to do reskilling according to the new project that has come. So what happens, so this reskilling, how it happens is generally the client company and the two companies, they exchange some kind of a training. Some kind of a training is imparted to understand the process, in that context. So if it is Altisource, see, the domain may be the same, but every time the company changes, their processes may be different. Let us say, for example, the Tesco company has an outsourcing base here in Bangalore. So they do a lot of retail outsourcing. They do outsource projects for retail domain. But every time every company changes, there are differences. So usually I guess to work around the challenges of quality and domain and industry, what you need to do is to have some kind of a training, so that the processes of that, the rules, regulations, the systems which pertain to that particular domain can be taken care of. So these were the disadvantages of outsourcing. Advantages, definitely we have seen before. Then we said outsourcing and offshoring. Offshoring is a part of outsourcing, but the job will move to another country. So from BPO, moving from BPO to KPO. So class, in level of quality, what do you feel that BPO is better or KPO is better in terms of quality? Whether BPO is better or KPO is better. Okay, so while BPO is business process outsourcing, in terms of level and quality of work, KPO is higher than BPO. So BPO is business process outsourcing. It could be as simple as taking a call, sending an email, whereas KPO is more superior in terms of process. We can do a lot more of problem solving, a lot more of technology and skills are involved. So KPO, you can see here, KPO is the outsourcing of tasks that require information processing. So it's a superior job, it's a superior level than the BPO. So it can include big data analytics. If you are doing some kind of a financial analytics or marketing analytics, and if you are involved in some kind of market research, so if let's say if you are Gartner company and you are doing a market research for some of your client companies, then definitely it's a KPO kind of a thing. So KPO is slightly better in BPO because the skills involved and the output involved, the level of outputs involved and the service level agreements involved are much higher. So we have discussed this before, but I'm just explaining that, you know, in countries like India, China, Mexico, Ireland, and Philippines, these are some of the top destinations where outsourcing work comes. So it includes India, China, Mexico, Ireland, and Philippines. And however, India has more advantages. So we saw this last time as to why companies choose India as their favorite outsourcing destination. Okay. I want to quickly go to another example of one more outsourcing example. So I will read it out, and probably at the end of the reading, I will ask questions from you. So Sunnyvale, California-based Juniper Networks accounting managers visited India in 2004. So like I said, the early of 2000 up to 2015, these 10 to 15 years, we've had some very good outsourcing work coming from US, UK, and then Europe. We got clients of Europe and so on, and we continue to do it right now also. So Sunnyvale, California-based Juniper Networks accounting managers visited India in 2004 to meet with three large outsourcing providers and assess their AP services. So AP is account payable. The vendors were helpful in providing information about the process and pitfalls. After returning home, the account managers and their bosses decided against outsourcing, but in favor of setting up their own shared services AP operations in India. So instead of, so what did they do? Instead of completely outsourcing their accounts payable, the company has gone for a shared services. Shared services means the process which is going to be outsourced will be shared between Juniper Networks and between the company which is going to do it in India. So it is a shared services. The advantage of shared services is that, you know, you will have a more likely control on the process output and so on. It may so happen that as we do the shared services within the 2 to 3 years that we do work together, the two companies involved do work together, it may so happen that there may be a comfort level, and and then probably the 100% they may outsource. But in this case, since there was a slight dilemma, so they went for the shared services, which is also a part of outsourcing. The primary driver of that decision was a staffing management issue. So they found more issue of staffing or the employees and so on. So the issue was that Juniper Networks believed it could exert greater control over staffing issues that would directly affect the value of the arrangement. The company established some engineering operations in Bangalore about 6 months prior to searching for a lower cost approach to AP processing. So so this shared services, how it was taken further was that the company itself, Juniper, I'm sure you would have seen also there is a office of Juniper in Bangalore. So they started their own operations even before they started the outsourcing. because they wanted to go for the shared services, and they wanted that they should have a control on the labor. The accounting managers believe they could address certain risks like employee turnover better through a captive offshore arrangement. Captive means that the company will have a control on the offshoring arrangement. The company's commitment to efficiency and internal controls were key enablers to that decision. It also helped that the AP function was really already automated in the form of AP application that could be used at the Bangalore AP center. Juniper Networks maintained some AP support at its operation in US, Asia, and Europe, but those investments would have been necessary even if Juniper had hired an outsourcer. A key difference, however, is the schedule the Bangalore-based employees maintain. Although many India-based outsourcers operate support centers around the clock to compensate for the time zone difference. So this is what one of the challenge I had said, time zone difference. So in that case, what we have to do, we follow a three shift kind of a thing, so that we can match up with the time zone between US, UK, and so on. So around the clock, to compensate for the time zone difference, Juniper opted against night shift. That means slower responses in some cases, but that is offset by the local AP support and a rock bottom turnover rate. So what happened is the shared services actually helped. It went in favor of Juniper because they didn't have to tell the Indian office to go for 3 shifts. They could manage with 2 shifts and no night shift, and since they also had their own AP support team, which translates to more productive employees and better service. Since the Bangalore AP center opened, Juniper Networks cost of AP transactions has dropped by 40%. So this was the case about how Juniper Networks has successfully shared the services in terms of
outsourcing. So let us see what is outsourcing. Outsourcing is an agreement in which one company hires another company to be responsible for a planned or existing activity. This is actually the practice of having a certain job functions done outside a company instead of having an in-house department or employee handling them. So it's exactly the company hires some another company to get the job done, which helps the company to be done the works done easier. Outsourcing is also referred to as contracting out tasks, operations, jobs, process to an external workforce by contracting a third party for a significant period of time. So these are like mostly like leasing kind of thing. So they outsource the process for a certain period of time, like maybe an year or maybe like for a 5 year. So this process goes into another company which will be handling the process for the outsourcing company. Dhanush, next slide, please. Okay, so I'll be talking about the advantages of outsourcing. So the major advantage for the company that outsources are focus on core business. So if the company is into manufacturing and they want other processes like maybe customer support, they would be handing over this to a third party where the main company can still focus on their core business, that is manufacturing. So this the second point is reduce labor cost and overhead expenses. So the company that outsources doesn't have to look after about every small things uh, that is required for the company. So let's talk about the example of manufacturing company itself. So manufacturing company wants customer service also, which will be outsourced to a third party or a vendor. So they don't have to hire employees for the same process, which will be done with the third party. This helps in cash flow control and access to new resources, and risks could be very minimal, or the manageable risk only the company will have to face. So we'll be seeing two other examples of the outsourcing. One would be Google Play Store and the other would be Altisource. So these are Altisource is a company that has been outsourced, like Altisource outsourced this process, and Google Play Store, they have outsourced their Play Store process to Concentrix and other companies, which will be explained by Jyotis.
Hello. Good evening, all. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'll be talking about Google Play Store. So as Google is, as we know, it's a big conglomerate. It is not very possible for Google to do each and every process they have. So they outsource their Google Play Store process to Concentrix. So which I'm going to talk about. It has been processed not only to Concentrix but to Accenture and Regalix as well. So these three BPOs are the major parts who's playing with the Google for Play Store policy verifications. So the major process includes that the developers develop their apps and they send it through a platform where the Concentrix employees are or have to cross check the policies, all the policies together, whether they are meeting the Google's criteria. So once it's done, it is again escalated to another level where another outsourced team is taken care of it. So this small object is not the core business. This is just part of it. So this has been outsourced to Concentrix and various other BPOs so that Google can focus on their other core competencies. So the next example will be taken by Dhanush. It's regarding Altisource.
Good afternoon, everyone. I will be talking about Altisource. Altisource is an European company. Altisource Portfolio Solutions is an integrated service provider and a marketplace for the real estate and mortgage industry. The company's financial process is outsourced to India. The process here in India are involved with document verifications and customer support for the US customers. Altisource also deals with the real estate marketplace solutions. Documents submitted by the customers as per the requirements for the loans and mortgages are examined and verified, and their credit scores are monitored before the loans are approved. Altisource is a finance outsourced company. And thank you.